No joke, her water broke right in front of me. The lady had a real live ghost living in her garage.
Halloween stories you won't believe are real? What? Dude, come on. Are you just making up creepy Halloween stories again?
No, dude. I'm not making up new Halloween stories to show off for Halloween time. It's okay. So, remember the last video that I just put out?
Yeah, you mean the one that you called 30 years of hunting and didn't have the 30 years worth of footage for the video?
Yeah, right. That one. 30 years of Halloween DIY home decorations video. Yeah, the last one I put out. Anyway, that video, remember that video?
Yeah, I remember that video was almost an hour long.
Yeah, I know. It was a long video. But anyway, that video I was telling stories, right, of how Halloween used to be. Anyway, we've had some people or some followers that they decided to leave in the comments their own stories about Halloween and some of the experiences that they had in the past. And let me tell you, some of these stories were pretty wild, and so we're going to cover them.
So these are stories from other people, real people out there who actually left these stories in the comments below your video. It's not just junk you're making up, right?
Yeah, dude. So they were actual comments that were left down underneath the video.
And you have permission to tell their stories.
Well, I mean, I assume since they put the comments in the comment section in the first place where everybody could see them and read them, that we can go ahead and tell everybody about them anyway. Now, before I get going, so you guys understand, because if you go research there's going to be a couple stories in here that if you go research right now, you're not going to see them. And that's because the first day I put the video up, I didn't edit it properly. I wasn't done. I had to cut that thing down. So when I did, I knew I was going to lose the videos, but I knew I was going to lose the comments. So before I did that, I took snapshots of those comments. That way I could reread them and put them onto here. So anyway, let's not get around and let's show you guys the stories that you guys, not me, that you, the other people, the other ones you put in the comments. The first story comes to us from, and I may mess this up, John Saran 2018. Now this story, it's pretty kind of crazy and heartfelt, all wrapped up in one. Can't explain it. Just see for yourself.
The following video contains stories about Halloween that are claimed to be true. Some of this content may be seen as disturbing or shocking to some viewers. The identity of those involved have been censored for their safety. Viewer discretion is advised. Oh, there's so many memories for myself. 25 years of decorating for my favorite holiday. The countless people who've wedded themselves at my house, and I wear that one as a badge of honor. Even my loving wife signed me up for professional latex makeup classes just to up my game. And we still have people who travel back to the house for the Day of the Dead. But one of the best and worst situations we've ever had was there was this family that stopped by, and I didn't notice that a young woman was actually pregnant. I do my little act for them, and then all of a sudden I hear them screaming and laughing at the same time. No joke. Her water broke right in front of me. I dropped the act, man. I was so concerned about Mom, but she was laughing about the whole thing and said everything would be all right. She brought the cute little boy a couple years later just to show me, and while she was there, she said to him, "And this is where Mommy started having a baby." All was good in the world for a moment. And last year, a young man who was about 11 years old showed up and hung out with me and was asking how I built all my ghouls and decorations. He stayed for a couple hours just taking pictures. After a while, I told him he should probably call his parents to make sure they weren't worried. After I spoke with Dad and let him know where he was, Dad said he already knew where he was, so I guess this was his mission for the day. I mean, he didn't even want any candy. All he really wanted to know was how these things were made. So I showed him a few of my favorite channels. Shout out to you and Cobwebs and Stiltby Studios. Nothing like getting the kiddos started thinking about building stuff instead of buying everything. For me, I find the biggest problem with home haunts is storage. But it's all worth it in the end.
Dude, he scared her so bad, she plopped out a baby. Holy cow.
Now, I've never put someone in labor before, but that's pretty special, I have to say. And you know what? It's also cool that some other little guy out there is inspired, wants to know how things were made, so maybe he can build instead of just buying. I agree. Get out there and build instead of just buy. You never know. All these guys out here, they may be the next Distortions or something like that, but you got to start somewhere, and I'm glad someone out there wants to build versus just buying. Now, the next story here comes from Cobwebs and Candlesticks. He's got his own YouTube channel out there, and he's also a friend of the channel here. So he had a fun little story type thing. Anyway, but here it is. Here's Cobwebs and his story.
My buddy used to pull a scarecrow gag sitting on a hay bale. Well, Halloween night, our other buddies, they creep over to his house and see him waiting for a group of kids to gather up. We ran ahead of that group of kids and jump on him, drag him all around the yard. The kids were squealing.
What? Okay, the kids were squealing. Who's squealing? It was the kid. So they jumped the guy and they're dragging. Was the guy they were dragging around the yard? Was that the dude that was squealing, or were the other kids, the other group? Those kids, were they squealing? And were they squealing because they were scared, or were they squealing because they thought it was funny because they were dragging this other kid around the yard? Man, I don't know. He kind of lost me on that one.
I know, right? I'm not sure who really was scared of that one, whether it was the buddy that was supposed to be scaring the kids or the kids that were waiting to come into the yard. What I don't know. Anyway, shenanigans for sure. Shenanigans being done on Halloween night. That's what I got to say about that one. And I can totally see Keith and his buddies doing something like that. Here's our next one, our last and final one for tonight. So, this next story comes from Capohafanen, Capohanf1. You figure it out. Anyway, this story's pretty wild too. It's got some good memories of things in the past as being a haunter and a little bit of the paranormal all rolled into one.
I got hooked on haunting for Halloween one of the last years that I went trick-or-treating, back at the age of 12, all the way back in 1968. See, there was this guy that he put a speaker with a microphone attached in a real carved-out pumpkin jack-o'-lantern, right? And he sat inside hidden where he could see us, but we couldn't see him. And when you came up to the door, he would greet you. So it was like the pumpkin was talking to you. So he'd greet you, make comments about your costumes and different things. It was just super neat. And this was back in a time when really decorations were either the pumpkins that were carved or just some kind of paper and string type decoration. Complete different time back then. Anyway, so I helped this lady do a haunted house for about 5 years. She designed the props and I built them. And I made stocks, electric chair, Sharon's boat, a number of spray foam posable mannequins, headless horseman, his ghost horse, and a lot more stuff. The haunted house was actually at her house, and it was only the two of us that worked it. She stayed out front and let in the guests, and me, not in costume, I would walk the exhibits, filling fog machines, and making sure that things were running smoothly. Man, I couldn't count the times that I made a teenage girl scream by just standing in the shadows. And of course, The night really wasn't complete until you made some girl scream. Anyway, I failed to mention at the beginning of this that the lady had a real live ghost living in her garage. You know, the place where we built the props and such. Anyway, the ghost was actually the former owner of the house who had actually died inside the house. And then the lady, she was a witch. She got tired of him living in the house, so she smudged the house and sprinkled salt to keep him out. And then he wound up just settling in the garage. So, this one Halloween night is almost opening time. It's just after dark on October 31st. She's up front, she's getting ready for all the crowd. And I'm in the garage doing last minute things, tying things up. I get all finished up, I walk to the door, I turn out the light, and as I step out the door, I felt this kind of go get 'em slap on my back. You know, I turned around, I thanked him, and then I went on walking.
Dude, just continued walking? What? I'd have been out of there before my feet even hit the ground.
That one's pretty wild. It had everything all wrapped into one. I mean, that's a pretty good Halloween story right there. We're talking about building props, making stuff, working like a haunted house for an old lady. An old lady turns out to be a witch. Right? Right. And to top that off, not only is she a witch, but then she has a real live ghost living in the house, in the garage, along with... You can't wrap up more of a Halloween story than that. You're talking trick-or-treating, scaring kids, real live witch, and ghost. So that was all of it wrapped into one right there. Now, whether or not you guys believe that stuff is true, you can leave a comment down below. But I'm telling you, these were the comments that were left for us, or left for me to read about memories that these guys had about Halloween time. And man, if you guys have stories that you would like to share, leave them in the comments. I would love to read some of your memories about Halloween. And they don't have to be crazy. I mean, people don't have to be getting pregnant and popping babies out and ghosts and witches running all over the place. They can just be fun memories from Halloween and trick-or-treating from back in the day. Something that meant something to you and was kind of exciting. What pulled you in to Halloween and doing all this? Because I know a lot of you guys out there, a lot of you are building props and doing things. That's why you're at this channel, because that's what you originally found, making props. But you guys enjoy Halloween as much as we enjoy Halloween around here, so you have to have some stories. You got to have some of that good times that you want to share. Leave those stories in the comment. If you guys like this, hearing other people's stories and ideas, put another big comment down there like heck yeah or whatever, or woohoo, something. Let me know you like it. And if enough of you guys put more stories in the comments, we can do another one of these. I'll share your stories with the rest of everyone else, and maybe we can make them even more fun. But until next time,
keep making something from nothing.